Hey guys, Shurum here, and today I'm going to be testing my Golden Max Ferrari J50 in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 in Platinum League on my journey to Legend League. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Shurum Clips channel, as well as my Purple Team Discord. You can find the links to those down in the description, and I hope you enjoyed the video. In my TVR Griffith video from a few days ago, I said that it was the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be making with older cars that I might have started up or maxed or even Golden Maxed in this case and that case that I maybe had not made a video of yet since I did those things to it. I've made two videos previously about the Ferrari J50, one where I had it 2-starred and one where somebody else, Aerost, had it 4-starred. But I maxed it a while back and I never made another video, so here you go. We're going to be seeing how it does in Platinum League and seeing if I can reach Legend League using only the J50. Not only does this give me a chance to make some cars useful that I maxed or whatever that I might not have used otherwise, but it also allows me to show that some of the older cars that are often overlooked, even lower in their classes like the J50 is, can still be relatively viable in multiplayer in some cases. Now, one thing I want to make note of that some people point out in my comments recently is that Windows typically doesn't have quite as high of a skill level as iOS and I guess Android as well, as we can see by that Corvette trying to 360 me there when I was in Shockwave, which will basically always fail, and in some cases the car 360ing will get knocked down instead, because Shockwave is the most powerful knockdown shield in the game. But my point in this was to say that on other platforms, iOS in particular, it will be more difficult to use cars like the J50 in order to get to Legend League. Just so that everybody is aware that it will most likely be easier on Windows to gain rating and go up in leagues in generally considered to be less competitive cars than on other platforms. With that out of the way, let's see what our J50 can do against a Vanda, a Corvette, and a Bugatti Chiron in this race. Yeah, in this season, there was no such thing about if you're in Platinum League, you can't face S-Class cars, which is kind of annoying. I much prefer the Platinum League where you can only face up to other A-Class cars. Otherwise, it just becomes much more difficult to actually get to Legend League, especially when you run up against a bunch of Chirons in your Vanda and they're 50 miles per hour faster than you and there's not much you can do about it. But alas, it was not the case here, and we had to contend against some Chirons throughout this video, not just one if I remember correctly, but thankfully we didn't actually face too many of them. It was typically only one or maximum two, I believe, in any race that I played, which did allow me to, at least most of the time, be able to compete fairly well against the other cars in the race. And so even if I wasn't able to get first, which is kind of impossible next to a lot of these higher-end S-Class cars, I was still able to get second at least a lot of the time, even if it was fairly close like it was in this race with the Vanda, where he was catching it very closely at the end there with this super good handling and ability to keep up speed. But we are able to cross the finish line in second place, and even though we did lose to the Chiron, we still went up 39 rating, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, in this next race on Rome, we thankfully do not have any S-Class cars. We've got an Aventador SV, 3 Corvettes, and a Mercedes-Benz SLR. And for some reason, everybody else went the left way. I'm pretty sure that that's a slower way in most cars, so I'm not really sure why. Please put down in the comments below if there's any, like, new routing or something with that. But in any case, here, I don't know how this happened. I landed on top of somebody's upside-down car in the air and ramped off of them, neither of us getting knocked down. It was literally just like the car became a ramp in the air. I've not seen something like that for a long time, so I knew I had to put this race in the video. In some other Asphalt news, the Ultima RS special event has come out, and it's actually better than we thought it was going to be. Yeah, imagine that. This is like the first update that's actually been better in almost every aspect than we expected. Which, you know, is great, obviously. So I hope Gameloft continues to do that. I heard that the next update might not be in the same format as this one, but I hope they at least do it again sometime, because it's a great way to at least unlock some new cars. And there, I don't know what happened on that ramp. Somehow I landed on it sideways and, again, didn't wreck and still just kept on going through the air. This race made no sense to me. A lot of weird physics stuff that typically doesn't seem to happen with the J50. Overall, it's a fairly grounded, you know, average, relatively easy to drive, boring car. And if you want a car like that, well, this is a pretty good one. It's just incredibly boring. There's nothing particularly special about it. it'll, in most cases, get the job done, especially if you are in lower Platinum League. Now, in higher Platinum League, obviously, where I'm getting to now, it becomes more difficult due to, in some cases, the abundance of S-Class cars, which are very difficult to compete against. In this race, we have not one, but two Bugatti Chirons, one of which is the same yellow one that was in the race earlier, and we have another one too. Here, I was so afraid this Corvette, like so many other Corvette drivers, was going to try and knock me down, so I tried to stay away from him as much as I could. Thankfully, he did not try to do so, and we got pretty comfortably into third place. Now again, obviously, there's no way I'm going to be able to catch up to these Chirons up there unless they make a mistake. So I just wanted to show that, yes, if you take out a car like this, you'll be able to beat other A and B class cars oftentimes, but Chirons and stuff, you're really gonna just have to take the L a lot of the time. But you can see though, they're not like off the map, they're still kinda there. So if one of these guys was to make a mistake, I might be able to actually beat them. Now, the other interesting thing about this race that you will see at the end here is primarily the main reason why I put it into a video. So after I finished, got 3rd out of 6, I was like, okay, let's just keep on going. And then I went up 17 rating to get to exactly 1679 rating. Yeah, I could not leave that out. And GG again to Maniac Incubus. Now we're on to our final race in the video where we have a Jesko of all cars. Yeah. So there's also a GT12, there's a couple of Corvettes, there's an Aventador J, there is a Huayra BC, and yeah, starting off, you know, this car, since it has such average stats all around, the acceleration was pretty much right in line with all the other cars. We took a slightly shorter route at the beginning, allowing us to get slightly in front, but still not out of shooting distance of those other cars, because most of them are at least slightly faster than me. The J50 hits around 226, 227 miles per hour at Golden Max, which is respectable, but obviously not amazing for Class A. It is faster than a lot of Class B cars, though, like the Corvette and the GT12 and the Huracan, for example. The main car that I was worried about was the Jesko, obviously, because that car is, gosh, like 100 miles per hour faster than me, but I didn't really see any cars catching up to me all that quickly on the map, so I was hoping it wouldn't be one of those cases where just at the last second he barrels up behind me and takes the lead. So now it's time for my general review about this car. It's perfectly serviceable in multiplayer, nothing great, nothing terrible, just overall a fairly pleasant drive. It's decently agile. It's just so medium and average in so many aspects. I struggle to find much of anything to say about it. It is basically a slightly better Vulcan, and we do beat this Jesko in the final race to take us to Legend League. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!